So that picture that was just shown, that was the old me. I had woken up in jail. I had accidentally cut my neck and refused to get stitches. I wasn't in a good spot. I ended up spending 2 months in jail and got out and pretty much did the same thing. Didn't comply with probation, just went back to using drugs, and that time unfortunately almost ended fatally. But back to that later, how I got addicted, it was kind of like the typical addiction. I had a pretty normal, pretty happy childhood for the most part, pretty loving parents, no trauma, no abuse really, and was good in school. I was gifted in talent as well. I was in elementary school and middle school. I was in advanced classes in high school as well, but around middle school I just got involved with the wrong people pretty much, and one of the first drugs I did was LSD, and after that I started smoking weed pretty much every day, sophomore year, and just things like pills like Xanax and other psychedelics like psilocybin and DMT, and so that was pretty much my sophomore year, and it evolved obviously until I was 17, where I picked up drinking, and that was the one that caused the most issues for me because I couldn't control myself, and with everything else I could do, a lot of it, and not get into any issues. But with alcohol, I would black out and just usually commit crimes or just do stupid things of that nature pretty much. And so when I was 17 and a half, I ended up going to juvie because of armed robbery. My friends and I stole some weed from a fellow classmate. It was just someone that was around our age also. But a gun was involved, so it was kind of serious, and we were luckily 17, so we wouldn't get in too much trouble. But I didn't learn my lesson, and I ended up living with a friend that summer 2019, for about a month. But I was drinking every day, and that ended badly. I stole his car twice, and the second time he noticed, and I had to go to juvie again, and moved back to my parents after a couple weeks in juvie. And so my senior year, I was still into drinking. I was drinking every day, just to kind of cope with my failures and just the stress of being at school, because I also had an ankle monitor at the time, which I thought was unfair. But I mean, they were it was justified, and I didn't see that. I couldn't see that. So I ended up getting kicked out of school for being heavily intoxicated at school. I think I blew like a 2.6. Went to the hospital, ended up going to juvie again. Went to my first rehab in the mountains. It was called YRC in Glenwood Springs. 45-day program. It was one of the best programs I've been to besides the program I'm at now. Looking back, I should have taken advantage of it more, but I was young and thought I didn't have an issue. And so I went after that program was done. Got out, and the day of just went back to using drugs, drank, smoked weed, and blacked out, and did some Xanax also. And that just continued until that picture that you saw. And then when I got out, I'll continue the story. It was now 2021, and like I said, my addiction had evolved. And so I had been drinking a lot, using cocaine, smoking methamphetamine, and on June 18th, 2021, I overdosed on fentanyl and almost lost my life. Thankfully, my parents saved me. I spent the next 4 or 5 days in the hospital. I was hoping to die, and I thought I was cheated out of a death, so my parents took me with them on vacation. They were like grateful to have me, and they had an attitude change. My dad even apologized because in the past, like, I had talked to him about my depression and my serious thoughts about suicide, but they thought I was just talking about that sort of stuff to get attention. And when my dad, like, seeing me almost die, he realized that I was serious. So he apologized for encouraging that type of behavior, and that it obviously didn't work because he was trying to use reverse psychology, trying to get me not to do it, but I almost succeeded. So we spent a couple weeks in Mexico. I had a pretty good vacation for the most part. Came back, and I had to face the music pretty much. So I had to go back to jail for violent probation, which I had been on for almost 3 years at this point, which was originally supposed to be a 1-year probation. I had turned it 3. So being a little mature and realizing that I didn't really have any control of the situation, I did what I could. So I tried to end my life again. I drank some eye drops. I looked it up, and apparently someone had died that way, and so I tried that, and it was unsuccessful. I just had some shallow breathing and some chest pain and chest heaviness, and that's about it. And I turned myself into jail when I realized it wasn't going to work. I was really ready to die at that point because I didn't want to go to jail again. So went to jail, kind of licked my wounds while in jail. Spent a couple months in jail. Went to a 3-month program called IRT, Intensive Residential Treatment, at the Leonard County Halfway House. It was all right. I mean, it was 8 hours of sitting in a classroom 5 days a week, and on the weekends it was a 2-hour class and then a 4-hour class. So it was intense, and I didn't really get a lot out of it as much as they said I would. So I knew myself well enough to know that I still needed help, and I needed more time, and that wasn't enough. I didn't want another I didn't want a situation like with the first rehab. So I started calling Harvest Farms, and after a couple months, we coordinated me coming, and they thankfully accepted me. And I've been here since January 25th, and it saved my life. I've strengthened my relationship with God. Before I almost died, I was naive and stubborn and didn't want to believe in a higher power, but something obviously intervened, so it was divine intervention. And I've been doing things that I haven't done in a long time. Like I've been running, and I've been exercising, I've been reading, I've been socializing, I've been reflecting, I've been doing a lot of things for myself. And one of the most rewarding things is just having hope for the future, because I didn't really have any hope for like the next day, and I was just living in the moment and trying to just numb whatever I was feeling. And one of the most challenging things in sobriety is just emotional regulation, and not blowing up like I used to when I was using, or not letting the little things get to me, and talking about things and journaling whenever necessary and things of that nature. So I know this is going to be my last rehab because I've gotten so much already out of it, and I have 9 months to go, and I've grown so much as a person in the little time I've been here, and I think that I'm going to succeed.